morning. How wonderful it is to see each and every one of you this morning. Welcome to Tennessee Valley Unitarian Universalist Church. We are very happy that you are here, wherever you may be, no matter who you are, where you are on your journey, where you have been and where you would like to go. You are absolutely welcome here in this space. We're happy to have you. It's a wonderful Sunday morning. We have lots of exciting things happening this morning. I can sense the cheer. I see some Rudolph ears and jingle bells. I see lights on Santa hats in the back. It's wonderful, wonderful. So thank you for all of your cheer that you're bringing into the building and the community this morning. There is, of course, comes cold weather, comes some sniffles and illness. We hope that everyone that is at home feeling the winter chills and colds, that you are feeling better as the day goes on. If you are here, please remember we are one another's keepers. And I do love that phrase because I feel that we, as you use, truly know how to embrace that phrase in our lives. We do have a couple of announcements this morning. I would like to have you all notice the Family Promise trailer that is parked in the parking lot. Yes, that is a wonderful, wonderful thing. I'd like to invite Alice Woody up to have an announcement in regards to Family Promise.
Good morning. Good morning. I have three things to tell you about that are good for celebrating, and I've got an ask. So let's talk about the good things, the celebratory things. This is Family Promise Week at TVUUC. Family Promise Knoxville sent out its success rate for this past year to date, of families that found housing through the program, 81%. That is good. Yes. In this housing market, that is spectacular. All of our volunteer jobs here at TVUUC have been officially filled. However, and here comes the ask, some people are working 2 and 3 jobs. They're putting in a lot of extra time and perhaps some extra money, and we really need to have you all look at your schedules, determine if there is anything you can do to add. I'll have a list of where we need fill-ins. There's a special need for people to pack up the Family Promise materials on the 24th. I know that's the morning of Christmas Eve. I also know everybody's really busy this time of year. But if you could, please, it's about a 2-hour job to pack up, 2.5 hours. And of course, the more hands, the lighter the work. I will be out in the hallway in front of the Lizzie Crozier-French room with a sign up with just the spaces where we could use someone to work listed. So we can see if you all have any interest, time, can squeeze out some time to help and not have a few people carrying really a lion's share of this. Thank you very much, and if you see our families participating in any of our activities, which they may or may not do during the week, give them a smile and welcome. Thank you so much.
We are creating an opportunity for some additional reflection time during our offertory moments during the service. And so to accompany that kind of changed energy flow during the service, as you'll notice when you begin entering into the sanctuary every Sunday, you'll notice the offertory baskets are going to stay put. So please keep that in mind as you leave today. Claudia will also mention it during her offertory opportunity later, but we won't be passing those anymore. Just wanted to begin to remind folks of that change in our activities every Sunday. I'd like to now invite Diane Fox up for an announcement regarding the auction.
Hey everybody, we did break $24,000, which, so $24,363, and only $500 is going to come out of that. We have really set up a structure that is all about being together and is easy to do. I tell you that because several of us are going to step off of the auction committee, and really this is like we have it all together. So, and we will help, and we have a notebook. So if you could please consider taking over the auction committee, we would really, really appreciate that. I would like to have the auction committee stand up. Lillian and John Mashburn. Barbara Taylor. Cindy Moffett, is she here? Timothy Klein, sorry about that. And me. So, we are so grateful, and we just want to thank you.
I'm going to add the emphasis to that. Over $24,000, the most the auction has ever enabled the church to make. Let's please give another round of applause to all of the auction members. It's things like that and the actions of that team that really, really change the trajectory of what the church can do every year. So thank you. Lastly, new congregational meeting. Is it happening in May or June? Yes. Is it also happening in January? Yes. I'm very excited at this opportunity to have 2 congregational meetings per year. If you want to know why that is happening, come see Eddie Chin, our board president, congregational president, after the service. Him and probably a couple of others, including myself, will be in the fellowship hall to help answer any questions and help you kind of better understand the importance of January congregational meeting and how it affects you. So without further ado, let's begin, shall we? I do ask that you turn off your electronic devices. Enjoy your time here at TVUUC, and happy holidays.
With mounds of greenery and the brightest ornaments, we bring high summer into our room, as if to spite the somberness of the winter to come. In time of want, when life is boarding up and wait for the next uncertain spring, we celebrate and give what we have. All creatures bend to rules, even the stars are constrained. There is a blessed madness in the human need to go against the grain of cold and scarcity. We make a holiday, the rituals varied in the hopes of humanity, the reasons as obscure as ancient solar festivals and as clear as the joy on one small face. And so today we gather as a community of all ages and join with people all over the world to celebrate the Festival of Light in dark times. We share our hope that all Yule fires, all Hanukkah candles, all Christmas lights, and the chalice flame we kindle here today will brighten the darkness with their warmth and light. Whoever you are, wherever you are on the journey of life and the journey of spirit, you are welcome here. We'll have an introduction to our pageant.
Today we will be enjoying a special treat, our annual winter holiday pageant. Because of this, our service today is a little different than usual, a little sillier maybe, we'll see. Today we honor the winter solstice, the longest night of the year, which is coming up in just a few days. Now darkness triumphs, and yet gives way and changes into light. As we celebrate the solstice, we join across time and space all the festivals of light emerging from the dark, marking at this turning of the season a moment when the earth's rhythms tell us to pause, to be present to the darkness and take stock of our lives. Some years, for some of us, it may seem that the holidays are more synonymous with stress than with celebration. Have any of us ever felt a little stressed in the holiday season? But today we will gather, embraced in the light and warmth of community. I'm so glad we are all gathered. We invite you to pause amidst busy holiday observances and preparations to contemplate the most basic of our needs and wants, warmth and light. So before we begin the first part of our story in just a little while, though, we need to get some of the cast together for later on. Today, we're going to do things a little bit differently than you might expect if you haven't been to one of our pageants before. None of the actors you are going to see in the pageant this morning have had a chance to rehearse. So please be kind. But there's more to it. You see, you are the actors. Several times during the service this morning, we're going to pause and ask for volunteers to play parts in the story. And we're going to need people of all ages and shapes and sizes, so don't be shy. So when we call for volunteers, simply raise your hand if you'd like to volunteer, and if we call you up, you're going to come up and you're going to go back through these curtains to our staging area behind, where there are people waiting to hand you a prop or throw a simple costume on you and send you in when it's time. And then you will be creating the tableau of our story, and all you'll have to do is follow the narration. And also this year, we have some volunteers designated ahead of time to be the voices of our characters, so you might also get to do a little bit of lip syncing. So if you're acting out a part and your character speaks, you get to pretend that the voice that we're all hearing is your own. So I'll say something like, and then Chris said, "This is going to be the best pageant ever." All right, it's a piece of cake. So we're going to need 4 key volunteers who are going to be key roles throughout our service this morning, and then a few more folks later on. So we're going to have, coming up now, a mayor, a storyteller, a wise woman, and a fool. And then, so I need somebody to be, who would like to try out being a community leader in an exceedingly low stakes way this morning. Who would like to be our mayor? Would you like to come on up, be our mayor? If you come right through, go back that way. They will get you ready. Now, a storyteller. I will say a truly venerable and deeply respected role is the storyteller in all times, is it not? So the storyteller. Come on up and be our storyteller. And you're going to come right back here. Now we need somebody to play our wise woman, a person of great depth and wisdom. A wise woman. Who's feeling wise today? Am I missing somebody? We need a wise woman. I'll stay all day. All right, come on up and be our wise woman. And now, who likes to clown around? We need somebody to play our fool today. Let's see. Would you like to come and play our fool? Come on up. And now we need a few more players who are going to be part of this first scene only. Somebody who feels really bright and cheerful today. Who would like to be the sun? The sun. All right, sun, come on up. You're going to come right this way. And we need a couple of people who are handy with a sign who are going to help. We have some props that need to come in and be held up and do some action and then be brought back out. Is there somebody who'd like to be a prop runner? Would you like to come run with the props? All right, come on up. You're going to come up this way. And we could use one more prop runner person. One more. Would you like to come and help? Yes, head right that way. All right, Hazel, you're going to go right out there. All right, thank you. And we're going to give them a little bit of time to get ready. Hopefully enough. They're scurrying around back there. So we're going to sing our chalice lighting hymn, which is in our order of service, Gloria.
I invite you to join together in our opening hymn 73 in the gray hymnal, Chant for the Seasons.
This is going to be done in the style of a responsorial psalm, which means there will be a leader known as a cantor. We actually have 3 back there, and they will demonstrate the congregational part, which is in the first 4 verses. They'll demonstrate it to you, and then you will sing it back to them. And then they will continue through the verse, singing the trickier parts, but you'll have 2 more chances during each verse to sing that refrain. And I'll just be up here to go, now's your turn.
Have turned the star wheels, springtime is upon us. Winter rains have turned the star wheels, springtime is upon us. Sharp the smell of long bursting in our eyes, the turrets of the tulip. Winter rains have turned the star wheels, springtime is upon us. Greening is the grass
Now into this circle I invite you to a village long ago and far away. Like many mythological stories, this one is set in a place and time that are rather vague. It explains things we human beings don't understand in terms both simple and complex. And the characters have symbolism beyond their roles. And so the mayor represents worldly power. Mayor, come on out. The storyteller represents social custom. The wise woman represents deep inner wisdom. And the fool represents the divine spark of inspiration in us all. The wolf, who we'll meet in a little while, represents fear. And the villagers, well, they're all of us, aren't they? So come, join us in our celebration of winter solstice. Long ago, in a time before time, in a place far north of here, a tiny village lay at the base of a mountain that was covered in snow all year round. In the summer, the days in the village were long and bright, but in winter, the nights swallowed the sun, and the dark seemed to last forever. Does it ever feel like darkness is taking a long time? One winter day, the mayor, the storyteller, the wise woman, and the fool gathered to discuss their fate. The mayor spoke first and said,
I am tired of this winter. It never ends.
The storyteller responded,
I agree, Mayor. The dark seems darker this year.
and the wise woman blew on her hands and stamped her feet as she said,
It's colder this year, too. I feel it in my bones.
The fool had other thoughts, though, and said,
I'm okay. I've got my long underwear on, under my other layers. Besides, I like the winter. There's skating, sledding, snowmen, and pretty icicles on the trees.
Everyone stared at the fool as they began in a sing-song voice.
A beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland.
The mayor was not convinced and said,
Oh, fool, stop that. You won't like it so much when we run out of food. We'll need that sun to come back so the crops will come up by spring.
all nodded their agreement. As the mayor continued,
Why does the sun go away like this anyway? It's annoying to have so much dark during half the year.
the others each had their own thoughts about why the sun disappeared. I wonder if we have any thoughts, any guesses about what they said. The story speller spoke first, and as they did, it seemed as though the actions came to life right before everyone's eyes. The storyteller said,
The ancient tales tell us that every fall, the sun has a fight with her brother, night. The night wins. And so the sun hides until she returns, refreshed in the spring.
Sun, hide. Hide, sun. And then return. And everyone nodded, as if to say, that could be it. Then the wise woman put a second theory forward.
My great-grandma told me that in the wintertime, the big white wolf runs loose across the sky. It chases the sun and nips at her heels. It makes her run faster and faster until she has to hide to escape him.
And once again, everyone nodded. That could be it. And then the white wolf ran away and the sun returned. And that could be it. But then the fool stepped forward and spoke.
Well, my grandpa told me that we have dark in the winter because the earth circles the sun. And in the wintertime, we're tilted away from the sun and don't get as much direct sunlight. And that is why it's dark all the time.
Everyone stared at the fool for a moment as the images they'd imagined faded off stage. And then they all burst into laughter, slapping knees and holding their bellies while they pointed at the fool. I said they all burst into laughter. And the storyteller said when they could catch their breath,
Oh, hogwash, what nonsense is this? I guess we know why they call you the fool.
just then, a sound. And at that sound, everyone stopped, shivered, and began to look distinctly nervous as the wise woman said,
Well, it doesn't matter why the sun is gone. It looks like we're all waiting in the dark a while longer.
And now, as our players take seats right here, we've got 2 seats there and 2 back there to wait for the next scene. We will need a few more folks to help us out for part 2, which we're going to get ready for during the next hymn. We need some villagers just for this next part. You're going to come in carrying some things. Who would like to be villagers? I need a nice collection of villagers. You're going to get to come in carrying something. Do we have villagers? Yes, 1, 2, come on up. A few more villagers. Anybody else want to be a villager? Come on up. Any villagers on this side? We could use 1 or 2 more. All right, villager, come on up. All right, you're going to go right back around here. Thank you. And our earth and sun can return to your seats if you wish. Yes. All right, and now let's join in singing hymn number 55 in our gray hymnals, Dark of Winter, number 55.
The holly and the ivy, when they are both full grown, Of all the trees that are in the wood, these two will be as one. In this cold village, in a time and place like and unlike our own, is it surprising that the people often wonder what midwinter would be like without evergreens offering hope when all else seems withered, bare, and cold? We rejoin our players now as they shiver in the winter chill right up here on our chancel. The mayor was the first to speak.
It is freezing out here today, cold as a witch's other elbow. We need to make sure this cold doesn't kill all the plants.
The wise woman knew what to do. She spoke next.
It's time to bring Mother Nature inside. We'll find every plant that's still alive in the cold winter and bring some into our hall. Go find rosemary, holly, ivy, bay, and laurel, pine and cheddar, not cheddar, cedar. Everything that stays green in the cold, white snow. We'll keep nature's heart alive, even on the darkest night.
The villagers entered, bringing all of the greens, and held them so all could see. Meanwhile, the fool was busy looking high and low, seeming to search for something. The storyteller inquired,
Fool, what trouble are you getting into now?
and the fool said,
Mistletoe. We need some mistletoe to hang inside. It brings you luck, and you can always get a kiss under the mistletoe.
The storyteller laughed and said,
Yes, mistletoe. All right, go find some then.
and then a villager spoke up.
I have some mistletoe right here.
The fool took the mistletoe from the villager and held it high up. But where are the kisses? Friends, let's all blow kisses, some kisses for our fool. And all the villagers said, hooray!
Hooray! Hooray!
Villagers, let's hear you say, hooray!
I got some mistletoe. Oh, do you have mistletoe? Oh, I don't know. Do you?
Now let's join in singing our next hymn, O Tannenbaum. The words are printed in your order of service. During the song, our villages may return to their seats. Thank you for your help this morning. And our other players can sit down here on the stage to wait for the next scene. Be seated. When our world is cold and dark, we are reminded of how much we need each other. Sometimes we need to build up the fire inside. It will keep us warm all through the winter nights and keep the dark outside where it belongs. And we need one another to keep that light burning. This morning for our prayer, we will light the candles of the Yule log. We light the first candle, in honor of all the stories throughout history that make the winter holidays rich and warm and meaningful. The Nativity story, the Hanukkah story, the many Yule stories, and all the stories from other countries and cultures, alike and different from our own. We light the second candle in honor of the life stories of the people in this church, stories they hold in trust for future generations, stories we tell each other and our children and our grandchildren, our nieces and nephews, and all the children in this community. We light the third candle in honor of the story of this congregation, which we tell a story about helping a community come alive, a story about making a difference in the world, a story about coming together to share our light and to banish the darkness. As we think on these things, you are invited to join us in a moment of silent meditation. Of course, as is always the case when humans gather, we know that this silence will not be completely silent, and we will savor the sounds of life among us, even as we seek the calm center within each of our hearts as we reflect. Let us enter into a time of silent worship together. Amen. Now, maybe Jackson will share our joys and concerns.
Good morning. My name is Mebby Jackson, and I'm a member of the spiritual care team, which also includes Carolyn Rogers, David Massey, John Montgomery, John Coffey, Doug Cox, Mike Maltby, and Tina Beckler. We are a trained group of congregants working to help our community meet its caring needs. We specialize in active listening, so you are welcome to call if you need to talk to someone, if you have a joy or concern that you would like to share with the congregation, or if you have a joy or concern that you feel the pastor or us need to know about, because you don't always know if we know. And we also help if you need a ride to a medical procedure, appointment, or anything like that. Or we're here if you just need some good cheer. We answer the spiritual care line during the day and the early evening, and we promptly return texts. The number is 865-297-3155. And that number is printed in the order of service and weekly in the newsletter. The spiritual care team is a key factor in helping our fellow congregants attain the pastoral care during challenging and uplifting times. So now is the time that we share our joys and concerns of the moment. Barbara Gray reports that her son, Mark Gray, has had a massive stroke and is in Bradenton Manatee Hospital in Florida. After suffering a small infection following his stroke, he is recovering well. She wishes us to keep him in our prayers. And if you haven't noticed Tony Powell at church recently, she is still recovering from the fall she had last month and is hoping to have hip replacement surgery as soon as possible. Also, we have longtime member Phil Hamlin is going through a rough time right now. He has been in rehab center recovering from an illness and is now back at UT Hospital receiving IV treatment for COVID. Needless to say, he is having a lot of discomfort. Please keep him and Marianne in your thoughts. And Cindy Buchanan is deeply grieving the loss of her younger sister, Jessica Amber Harrell, recently. She was a fighter and one who lived and loved hard. So please keep the family in your prayers. Cindy is grateful for all the love and messages she has received so far. And also, Jennifer Fowler's sister-in-law has Fuchs' dystrophy, a condition affecting the cornea. Her condition worsened after cataract surgery recently, and there have been complications. She and her husband, Jennifer's brother, have returned to Indianapolis for further treatment for the Fuchs specialist that they have there. And one last joy. Congratulations to India Kincannon, who was inaugurated into her second term as Knoxville City Mayor yesterday at a ceremony at the City County building. And for these joys and concerns and all the other unspoken joys and concerns, please join us in singing this healing blessing.
We return to our story. Wassail means we drink to your good health, and each year in our village, the people gather in the cold to drink toasts to their good fortune. They toast their families, their neighbors, and even their orchards. Dancing, singing, and sharing food and drink, they chase the bad luck away. And so our players gathered once again as the mayor mused,
I've been thinking about our apple trees. We don't want to lose any of them this winter. That would be a disaster.
And the fool said, while pointing at the nearby trees right here on the chancel,
Is it time to bless the trees? I love to bless the trees, but are you sure those are apple trees?
what do you think, friends? Should we bless these apple trees this morning? The storyteller thought so and said,
Yes, it's time. Come over here to wassail our trees.
and they gathered near the tree. Now, I don't think we have enough people gathered here for a proper blessing. Do we have a few additional friends who'd like to come up for the blessing? Want to come up and join me as villagers? Come on up. We could use a few more folks. Anybody else want to come up? You can gather right here with them. All right. All of us here can be villagers. So the storyteller, who suddenly had a cup in their hand, as did the fool, began the ritual by holding the cup up high and saying,
Here's to thee, old apple tree, hats full, caps full, bushel, bushel, sacks full, and my pockets full too. Hooray!
and all those gathered had cups too. Like magic. And held them up high, and all the gathered villagers echoed with a hearty hooray! The storyteller clinked cups with the fool, and they each drank as a toast, and then poured the rest of their drinks on the roots of the tree to provide them with nourishment too, before setting their cups down at the bases of the tree. Thank you. And our players can take their seats again. Thank you, villager helper. You can head back down too.
It has long been a custom at the midwinter holidays to exchange presents and to give gifts of charity to the community. Wassailing, or caroling as it was later known, was a practice where people could beg at holiday times for food, drink, and loose change from their wealthier neighbors. Homeowners either gave the singers on the doorstep gifts to thank them for their carols or paid them to stop singing and go away. It is in that spirit of gratitude and joy in this season that we will now invite you to share gifts with our church. We invite Claudia Presley to come forward to introduce our offertory this morning as our villagers head back to their seats and our main players take a seat here on the stage to wait for the final section of our pageant.
Good morning. As Chris said, my name is Claudia Presley. I'm the Director of Finance and Operations here. This is now the public service announcement of this program. It is about the Share the Plate program. Let me remind all of you in the building and watching online, we are nearing the end of our voting period for the 2024 Share the Plate organizations that our church will support. You can find the link to vote on our church website. You should be able to find it in a past newsletter. If you received the online order of service yesterday, there is also a link there. So please go there and vote. We're looking for 12 organizations that we can support with our contributions. As we said last week, we're doing an experiment, which is to not pass the offering baskets during the offertory. Offering baskets will be at the back near the doors on either side. You can place your checks or cash in there. You can also give through the giving kiosk in the lobby. You can text give to the number 73256, type in TVUUC and the amount that you would like to give. The most important thing to hear for today is that our Share the Plate organization is the Trans Empowerment Project. I'm going to look at my notes so that I don't forget something, but let me tell you a little bit about them. The Trans Empowerment Project supports trans people directly. Trans people, especially disabled queer and trans people of color, are among the most impacted by systemic oppression and equality. We work to ensure that our community has access to the most basic of needs by facilitating emergency food and gender-affirming clothing deliveries, transportation to safe shelter, and more. This is a local organization, so please contribute, and thank you for being here.
Before we begin our last part of the pageant, we need a couple more people to join our cast. Somebody to play the white wolf. We need a wolf. Who's feeling wolfish this morning? Can we have a wolf? All right. Would you like to come up and be the wolf? Come on up. You're going to come right out here. Right this way. Come on. And we need somebody, we'll need a son again in a little while. It could be the same son or a different son. Is there somebody who hasn't gotten to play a part yet who would really like to? All right. Would you like to reprise your role as the son? Thank you. All right. We'll have another small, I'll need a few more helpers in a few minutes. All right. And now we return to our story. Midwinter had arrived, and as the people of the village gathered once again, the wise woman spoke, banging her staff against the ground to punctuate the end of each line.
No more fun and games. The longest night is here. It's time to keep the vigil.
And then the wise woman offered instructions to those gathered.
Bring the biggest logs you can find. Build our bonfires high on the hills. We need to give the sun strength to be born again. Build up the flames. Let them dance higher and higher and higher into the night.
So we need some friends to help us build our bonfire. So we need some folks who would like to wave some torches to bring the fire. Do we have fire holders? Come on. Let's see. You come on right up here. Stand up here if you'd like to help out, and they're going to come to you. Come on up, right up here. Bring them down. Here we are. We need you to make some fire with us. Wave them and shake them up high. Make our fire wave and leap. All right, you could have a couple. All right, let's wave it and make the fire dance. And now we need everyone's help to encourage our flames. Let's all chant together. You can repeat words after me. Higher and higher, the flames leap high. Higher and higher, the flames leap high. Bring back the sun and winter will die. Bring back the sun and winter will die. I don't think it's worked yet. Let's try again. All right. Higher and higher, the flames leap high. Higher and higher, the flames leap high. Bring back the sun and winter will die. Bring back the sun and winter will die. As the fire settled into place, helpers, fire holders, can you place your fire in the bonfire that's right over there now? Can you put them on that bonfire? Do you see right over there? Place your fire right on top of that bonfire. And then you can head back to your spots. Thank you so much. Our villagers gathered to confer, and the wise woman spoke.
The fires are good, but we need more. We need a sacrifice. I mean a volunteer. We need someone brave and strong to take embers from our fire, climb to the top of the mountain, and throw the sparks into the sky. They will relight the sun and bring they back to us, who will go and save us all.
At that, everyone except the fool took a giant step backwards. And the mayor exclaimed while patting the fool on the back.
Fool, thank you. Thank you for agreeing to go.
The fool looked confused, scratching their head, and then, shoulders shrugging, replied,
Me? Okay.
And so the storyteller gathered some embers from the fire in a cauldron and handed the cauldron to the fool. And the wise woman offered the fool a blessing before leaving, holding a hand near the fool's forehead while saying,
Go and bring us back the light.
And so the fool left the other villagers behind, the other villagers who went back to their spots. Right here, your seats. You can go back to your seats. The fool is leaving you behind. And the fool climbed to the top of the tall mountain. Climb, fool, climb. And the mountain was always covered in snow. It was right here. The fool climbed and struggled through wind and snow and the dark of night, but never lost the way. And finally, the fool saw a figure crouched in the snow. And it stood up and blocked the fool's path right there. It was the white wolf of winter, larger than life and just as terrible. And the white wolf spoke in a deep, growly voice.
Who goes there?
The fool, thinking quickly, responded.
It is I, the mayor of our town.
And the wolf laughed harshly, saying,
The mayor? I think not.
The fool corrected their words, saying next,
I mean, the wise woman of our town.
and once again, the white wolf scoffed, saying,
Wise one? I think not. There isn't anything wise about you. Tell me what you want or go away. If you don't, I will eat you.
And so the fool decided to take a more honest approach with a plea to the wolf, saying,
Please, honorable wolf, I am just a simple fool. I have come to look for the sun. We are hungry and cold in the night that never ends. We need the sun to come back to light our days and to grow our food.
And the wolf laughed once again and said,
You are on a fool's errand. The sun belongs to me now, and I will never let them go. Go away before I snap you up in one bite.
The fool turned to leave, perhaps no fool at all, but then came back and said,
Wait, most venerated wolf, you made a mistake. Don't you see the glow near the village below? The sun has already escaped you. Perhaps if you run, you can catch her.
And the wolf exclaimed,
By the gods, you are right. I see her. I see the sun.
and the wolf took off running. The wolf, come and run off. There you go. As the fool celebrated, saying,
Hooray! The light from the fire fooled the wolf. It's my chance to free the sun.
and the fool called to the sun.
Oh, sun, where are you?
As the fool returned to the village, the sun now high in the sky, and arrived in the village, and all the villagers were there, along with the sun. The storyteller shouted,
The sun! Welcome to the sun! The light returns! Hooray!
and indeed everyone celebrated, clapping and cheering. The sun's warmth had indeed returned. And so, as a reminder of the light that always returns, even after the darkest of nights, we will have a small gift to share with all of you this morning during our song in a moment, a sun sticker that you can put on the back of your hand or another place where you'll notice it today or during the week. So we have some baskets of stickers. And is there anybody who could use some movement today or would like to be helpers, who would like to help bring these out to everybody? Yeah, come on up, helpers. Can I carry those around to folks so they get some stickers? Thank you. And now let us thank all of our players and all of our voices this morning. You have done such a great job, and you are invited now to head back to our staging area where you can return your costumes. You have played your role. Thank you. You can take that back with you. And now we will sing our closing hymn, a version of Joy to the World adapted for this service, and the words are printed in your order of service. Let us sing now together.
Let's give thanks to Catherine Farmer, Loya, and Marion Davis, and all our helpers, and all our cast members, and all the behind-the-scenes folks. This is the holiday work. Our closing words come from Susan Cooper. And so the shortest day came, and the year died, and everywhere down through the centuries of the snow-white world came people singing, dancing to drive the dark away. They lighted candles in the winter trees, hung their homes with evergreen. They burned beseeching fires all night long to keep the year alive. And when the New Year's sunshine blazed awake, they shouted, reveling through all the frosty ages. You can hear them echoing behind us. Listen, all the long echoes sing the same delight. This shortest day, as promise awakens in the sleeping land, they carol, feast, give thanks, and dearly love their friends and hope for peace. And so do we here now, this year and every year. Welcome Yule. Repeat after me. Welcome Yule. Welcome Yule. Welcome Yule. So be it.